Luke would never say that. I'm sorry. Well, in this version, see, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is the next generation of Star Wars. So I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker. I said to Ryan, I said, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference. Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? I mean, that's not what a Jedi does. I mean, a Jedi is optimistic. A Jedi has tenacity. He never gives up. He doesn't secrete himself on an island. But you'll. It certainly surprised me to hear Luke say it's time for the Jedi to end. I said, what?
Yeah. Luke
was the most optimistic, hopeful character. And
yes.
I had a real, sort of a back and forth with Ryan. I said, Ryan, a Jedi doesn't give up.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
A Jedi, if he does something wrong, he makes it right. Even if he's traumatized and goes away, he regroup within, 6 months, but 20, 30 years? Come on, that's a little bit overindulgent in my... Well, you're assuming that I train Ray.
Exactly. Sneaky.
Do I?
Sneaky.
I know, I have to be really careful. People say, was it difficult to pick up and wield a lightsaber again? And I go... Do I pick up?
Is it difficult acting in this movie? Am I in this movie?
I can promise you my part is twice as big as it was in Force Awakens.
Are you bummed that Luke didn't get sort of a reunion with Han Solo?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was reading it, I thought, if Leia's trying to mentally contact me and she's not successful, she'll rush to his aid. She'll get close to him and then get into some dire situation, and that's when I show up for a big yay, save her life. Then we rush to Han and are in the same position that Rey and Finn and Chewie are. Too late to save him, but witnesses. And I say, because it would carry so much emotional resonance into the next film. For us, his wife, his best friend to witness, instead of two characters that have known him, 20 minutes?
Have you been keeping Rey's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even I was filming and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
But this was incredible.
Fuck you!
What's up, all my emotional stories and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today it is the episode of the Matriarchy, and we are going to be talking about Mandalorian Season 2. Hi, Jessi.
Yeehaw. Hello, Anna. It is good to be here. It is exciting to be here. This is gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show because I'm excited. I'm really excited to talk about the Mandalorian because I think you and I had very different opinions on the first episode, but I think that really after I won't teasing too much though, but I'll give you my doom and gloom. Is after watching the second episode, I wasn't here. After certain things that have happened since then, I am now. You're gonna have to talk me out of feeling like the Mandalorian has gone the way of the rest of Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I felt like that since episode 1, season 1, but I chose not to talk about it on my channel because I learned. I actually I bookmarked the tweet. Maybe I'll go hunt it down. I tweeted. People thought I was talking about episode 1, season 2, but what I was really talking about, because I was talking about the terrible, terrible music and sound mixing, which is something that you kind of take it for granted. And you don't really notice it when it's good, but when it's bad, it's like, holy fucking shit, this is awful.
What was off with the mixing?
It's like, it's the episode where Bill Burr is in it, and it was like opening where the ship is going over, and just the way that the ship is going over the planet with the ridiculous. It's like, how to describe it? Because I'm not a musically inclined person. So it was like a remixed little background, but it was supposed to be Western music, but it was like a remix beatbox type of thing. I probably am describing this terribly, but it just didn't sound good. And I was completely distracted by how bad the music was. And, oh, I see everyone. I'm sorry. My wrong microphone. Do I sound better now?
Oh, yeah. A world better.
Okay, cool. Sorry. For whatever reason, StreamYards keeps doing this thing where it switches my microphone to my webcam mic as compared to my my microphone. But I was rewatching, or I wasn't rewatching. I was finishing season 1 because I couldn't bear it back when it came out. And then I was like, fine, I'll fucking finish it. And it was terrible. And then I had to watch episode 1, season 2, and
So what you're talking about, the problem you're having, I was confused at first, is that's not the mixing, that's the scoring. That's the actual issue here. And you're right. Actually, it's funny you say that, because Jeff and I had the same moment in this episode. We didn't notice that one back with the Bill Burr episode. But now that you say it, I'm like, that makes sense, because that this past episode, season 1, episode 2, had that same thing where there was this weird musical departure from that Western style, with the recorder and the this and that. And it was like, it had a beat. It had this weird electronic beat. It sounded almost hip hoppy. And we're like, this just doesn't work. So
no, the music is fucking terrible.
The thing is, it's the problem is the tonal consistency. This is actually a huge problem I have with Django that a lot of people don't think about too, is there's no tonal consistency in the soundtrack for Django. That's one of the things that's very jarring. A lot of the moments are these series of vignettes that are these individual music videos that are not tonally or visually connected to each other in any way outside of the thin narrative plot line that's woven through all these characters. The Mandalorian started out with this Western aesthetic, and the initial creation of the composition of the music was that. And there are elements of the score that I think they do really, really well of capturing a traditional elements of Western, elements of samurai, elements of and elements of
yeah, the one main track where he's talking, and it kind of reminds me of Quentin Tarantino.
Very much so.
Which is the only thing I think aside from Baby Yoda, it's the only thing I think I like about the show. Yeah, it's just because I picture the Hateful Eight when they're because the beat is actually really similar, because I just recently, I know you're not the biggest Quentin fan, but I rewatched the Hateful Eight. I didn't like it at first when I went to theaters, and I was kind of disappointed because I'm like, damn it, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. But then I watched the director's 4-episode cut on.
I remember you telling me about that. I want to see it.
And it was so much better. But the music, the main theme song for the Hateful Eight, is actually really similar to the Mandalorian theme.
Well, you know who did the soundtrack for Hateful Eight?
Who?
Ennio Morricone.
Do I know who that person is? I probably know what their face
is. You know who he is without necessarily, if you wouldn't necessarily know his name unless you're interested in this. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Sing it, George.
That's Ennio Morricone. All the traditional Westerns, all the classic spaghetti Westerns, because he's an Italian.
Probably know who he is. It's probably one of those people that I recognize his face, but I don't know by name.
The thing is, you wouldn't recognize his face. You wouldn't recognize what you would recognize is his body of work. Not necessarily some of the songs but it's he scored The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and all of those old spaghetti westerns that were done in Italy. But then he scored Once Upon a Time in America, which is that mob movie that was made. And all this. He had one of the most prolific careers of any guy anywhere, and he has done most of the iconic Western soundtracks. You like that entire sound, and that's why it should like. If the Mandalorian's theme song reminds you of an Ennio Morricone theme, then they're doing a good job because he is that. Ennio Morricone created that sound, that standard of the Western soundtrack. Ennio Morricone created that standard. So Tarantino, that was very important for Tarantino when he went and decided to make The Hateful Eight. It was really, really important for him to get Morricone. It was hard for him to convince Morricone to do it because Morricone had retired from scoring American films since he had this incredible body of work and won every top award outside of the U.S., but has never gotten an Oscar and has always felt jilted for that. And so when The Hateful Eight, when Tarantino convinced him to come back and do The Hateful Eight for him, he finally won an Academy Award for Best Original Soundtrack for that movie.
Oh, that makes me so happy for him.
So it's a really great. So it's awesome. It's actually kind of awesome that you know Morricone from that movie because that film was the culmination of his legacy on Westerns, and he just passed away this year. So there was a great write-up. There were a couple great write-ups. Actually, if you want to learn more about him, now's the right time because a bunch of media outlets had these really great write-ups about his life. So if you do like that sound and you like his influence and you like his contributions to The Hateful Eight, give it a read. He's really fun, and you might find yourself wanting to check out some of the other films just for his soundtrack.
You learn something new every day, people.
Damn straight. Especially the two of us.
Reading right now, thank you for the super sticker. It is, let me go onto the main thing and see what it is. It is a fist bump. Thank you. I appreciate it. I can't wait until they update this so we can actually see what the heck these things are. Right. And then, excuse me, Borg, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Anna, I enjoyed watching you play Mario Kart with Drunk Thubio. Don't forget to add me. My friend code is on my birthday, or on the birthday card I sent you. Oh, shit. I need to find that.
It's got to be somewhere.
It's probably somewhere. I have like a mountain of box. It's somewhere. I will find it and I will add you.
Well, I guess now we know Borg's ulterior motives for sending it to you.
Yeah, he wants to play Mario Kart.
Whoop your ass in Mario Kart. He's like, I can't beat your ass in Mario Kart if you don't have a system to play it on. So here's the Switch. Here's my friend code. You name the time and the place. Let's go. Borg is throwing down.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? Drunk messaged me and he's like, hey, do you want to play Mario Kart? And I was like, well, I'll take like a half an hour break from painting. And then because I thought he already had a stream going, he was just going to send me a link. But then I found out that it's way more complicated than that.
Oh.
And so we did, and I totally lost like every race. But people got to see my virtual road rage. Drunk had no idea that I have like terrible road rage. So it was a learning experience for everyone.
Your backseat driver rage is worse than most people's road rage. So how do people, after seeing what you're like when Jeremy's driving, don't expect you to be equally as effusive when you are yourself behind the wheel dealing with stupid people on the road?
Dude, I was screaming at people like a few minutes ago because I was down the street from my house and I almost like got into an accident twice on the same block because the people in front of the truck in front of me were fucking idiots. And me and the truck in front of me were pissed. We kept having to slam on our brakes because the person in front of us was like just a fucking moron. But back on the topic before we go too far away from it. Okay, so Mandalorian. So yeah, I hate it. I think the sound is terrible. And I remember when they were doing preliminary stuff for the show and promoting it before season 1 aired, and they're like, everyone's raving about the one dude that does their music. And I remember because I'm like, he's tall, he's skinny, and he has long curly hair. And everyone's like, oh yeah, he did like such an amazing job with the music. And he's just like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe he's one of those like musician people that's like really good and like soft spoken and whatnot. But now I'm just like, no, fucking dude sucks. And he's cocky as hell. I'm more frustrated at that than I think anything else with the show. Because I remember that one stupid interview where the guy, everyone's praising him and he's just standing there smiling. I'm like, wipe that fucking smile off your face. I don't know shit about music and I could probably come up with something better.
I definitely think that I don't have a problem with most of the music, but I do agree that those tonal inconsistencies, when they happen, are really glaring, really take you out of it, and really compromise that, you know, the whole part they're a part of. You know, people might want to say like, oh, it's nitpicky to you know, okay, well, if even if you only think a couple places are bad, it's not that big of a deal. But the thing is, to me, it shows a lack of intelligence, a lack of awareness of what you're actually creating. You know, you're not concerned. You lose your concern with building and filling out this world you've been given, and get more concerned with what kind of music do I think sounds cool and what do I want to write for this. And that's what I feel like happens in those moments where it gets, you know, a little hip hoppy, a little you know, stuff like that.
For me, it's like if something takes you out of the watching experience, then it's not a nitpick, it's a problem. And that's something that I usually don't notice because I'm not like a musically inclined person. And so for me to like be like, holy shit, the music is bad. Like, it's a really big problem for me.
So would things that take you out of the moment be things like adorable creatures low-key committing genocide and having it written off as a joke? Is that like one of those things that takes you out of the moment?
Well, I like dark humor, so
so maybe not.
Probably not so much.
That one. Maybe. Did you want to talk about that though?
Okay, so we'll start talking about episode 1. So I actually didn't watch season 2, episode 2. Because I have no fucking interest in it. I don't like the show. I hated season 1. I hated it from the very first episode. And it's, okay, this might sound weird, but when you're watching like older movies, I mean, even if you like go back and like watch, I'll pull one out of my ass, like a Clint Eastwood movie, like if you watch like the first Dirty Harry movie, and it's like a very lived in world that's obviously not Star Wars, but it's like him just going around San Francisco. I'm like, okay, yes, you can tell when certain areas are sets and when other stuff is not, but the world is believable. And well, that's just it being in like the real place. But then also when you actually go back and you watch OG Star Wars and you're watching Luke go around Tatooine and all this stuff, even at his uncle's house, it doesn't look brand new. None of it looks like it doesn't look brand new, like they just built this for the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But so when you first meet Mando and he's in that bar, I'm like, that bar that's in the middle of nowhere that should be like this shithole rundown place is cleaner than my house. And I'm like, I know exactly where they ordered that shit from Lowe's because I was just there because we've been remodeling the house.
Yeah.
It takes me out of it. And then I just hate it. I really don't like it. I love Baby Yoda. I hate it when I can figure out things before the main character and it's not a comedy. Yeah. And he should have died in the first episode. But how did you feel about season 1? And then we can start talking about season 2.
I liked season 1. I think that there were episodes that I thought were. Ooh, I'm echoing really bad. Are you hearing that on your end? Nope. No,
I
just
hear myself when I'm talking on your end. Yeah. But when you talk, I don't hear an echo.
Okay, it just stopped, so maybe it's okay now. If it happens again, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I can always grab headphones if you think it's going to be an issue. So what was I saying? So the first season to me was a mix of some episodes that were really good and some that were just good, and one that was just fair to meh. This because I'm gonna grab headphones. The echo's bugging me. Oh, sorry.
Okay. What I'll say while she's grabbing headphones is, when you have like the opportunity to do a Star Wars show and you can make it like the best thing that anyone's ever seen, and you make it just mediocre, I have a problem with that. When I'm watching Star Wars, I don't expect to be bored. I am just like counting the seconds until the show ends, because I'm sitting there and it's not like Last Jedi where I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck are they doing? Like, that's not Luke Skywalker. It's just, this is a really boring, mediocre show. And I don't know. I just don't have the interest in something that's not written well, if that makes any sense.
That's fair. I'm going to disagree. I don't think it's a poorly written show. At least not. I don't think this first season's poorly written at all. I do think it has a certain pace and a certain style that, based on like what I know of what you like, isn't for you. And that's fine. That's the whole thing. Like something Jeff said yesterday, briefly too, I think on the High Council, that was like really poignant, was everybody, just because something is good or something is bad, it doesn't mean the same people have to like or dislike it or consume it or not. If something looks like it's just not for you, or you tried a few episodes and didn't like it, it's just so stupid how people want to get so upset and be like, well, you got to watch more because you this and that and rewatch and consider this. Or those people can just accept that you didn't like it. Like, I think it's just so ridiculous how people get so upset. Like these days, if you didn't like something they liked, well, you didn't understand, or you didn't see something that they like because you said it's just not for me. Well, how do you know unless you try it or this or that? It could be perfectly good. I'm not trying to say it's not going to be good. It could be perfectly good. It's just not for me. You know, it could be fine. And you saying you don't like it or having criticisms or you think it's a bad show doesn't mean that you're casting judgment on somebody else who does like it or doesn't. Like, we're going to sit here and have this discussion. Well, you think it's bad. I think it's good. You know, certain things are good. You think think certain things are whatever. And we're going to have a civil conversation at the end of it. We're going to like each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, I don't care.
Sure.
Like, I've said over and over again, I hate The Godfather, and I find it incredibly boring, and I hate the concept.
Which is insane to me, because it's one of the
I'm totally fine with the rest of the world.
I don't understand how you can watch the movie and say this is boring. I'm like, are you kidding? This is I could watch 8 more hours of this movie and not get tired. But anyway, to me,
I'd rather shave my fucking head.
To me, that's subjective. You don't like a certain. There's a certain type of slow burn you really like, and there's a certain type you really don't. And this is the type that you don't. And Mando's the type that you don't too. The pace.
You know what's funny though? If The Godfather was set in the Star Wars universe and it was about the Hutz family, I would like it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
because it's like humans on Earth, I have absolutely no sympathy for people that live their life in crime because they know exactly what they're getting into. So when they decide, I just have no interest in it because I think I'm glad that I have my Vulcan picture up here, but I just think it's highly illogical. So anything that they get, well, what the fuck were you expecting? So I can't sympathize with any of the characters.
See, this is where my Kirk to your Spock shows is like, to me, I love the dark. Like, the thing I love so much about The Godfather is this dark, twisted path Michael Corleone goes on, where it's like he is the virtuous guy. He's the guy who's going to get out. He's in the military. He's honorable. He's got this beautiful young woman.
Yeah, and then he's fucking stupid, and he falls down the rabbit hole, and he
because of
evil.
Family. But the whole beautiful part of it, though, is the dichotomy of like, if Michael had chosen to be a good person, he would have been a really good person. He probably would have gone on to be a top politician and probably actually busted a lot of crime, a lot of organized crime and stuff, because he's that good. So when he fell, he became that guy. And then you get to watch 2 where he takes it too far. And it's like, it's not about necessarily sympathizing with him. It's about being fascinated by the rise and the fall. And I think that's something for me on that emotional front too. I get so interested in like the intricacies of mob lifestyle that like I get so into the mob stories. I'm rooting for the mobsters. I look at them as the good guy. I watch a mob movie and I look at the mobsters as the good guy and the cops as the bad guys, you know? Like, that's how I internalize it. I'm like always rooting for them to get away and win and stuff like that.
Well, that's the way that it's presented, though, is that when it's from the point of view of those characters, and this is why from a certain point of view, when you're watching a movie from a character's point of view, you're inclined to be on their side because you're watching it through their eyes and you want them to win. Mm-hmm. And when I don't like the main character and I have no desire for them to win, it's like, why am I even watching this?
Makes total sense. Sorry, I'm muted because I got food in my mouth.
You're fine.
It makes total sense.
I don't like the man though. I think my big problem that other people don't like, people that I guess aren't too familiar with like EU stuff or played the games and stuff and haven't watched like the Clone Wars or Rebels. And so if you just go on based off of the films and like the little bit that you do get to see of like Jango and Boba, then it's like, okay, so you don't know like the backstory or like the Star Wars lore about Mandalorians. And so if you don't, then it works. But if you do, then it's huge problem after huge problem after huge problem. And what really frustrates me is that it's freaking Dave Filoni who wrote a bunch of the Clone Wars and wrote freaking Rebels. And it's like if you were to write do a movie about your cats, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, here's like these excuse me, not movie, but TV shows about your cats. And here's the Clone Wars is about how you got Han and Lando. And then Rebels is about how you got the other two cats. And then you decided, okay, well, those were cartoons about your cats. Now we're going to do a live action with your cats. And then you get everything wrong about your fucking cats. And it's like,
My own fucking cats.
It's like, but they're your fucking cats.
I didn't know you were your goddamn cats.
Know?
No, that makes tons of sense. Honestly, it really does. And I can understand that frustration especially coming from the standpoint of like, you are the one who made. It's not even that you have all of these things at your disposal that you're ignoring. Like, you literally made these things and you're still ignoring them. And that I can see where coming from.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, I could definitely see how coming from that perspective, how it would make this show hard to watch. Because like I'm always ever been a casual EU dabbler, and even it doesn't bother me, but even I can see the glaring departures from EU Mandalorians to this. Even Mandalorian lore pre Clone Wars and Rebels too. And so I can definitely see why, if you're someone who's been really invested in those plot lines and knows a lot about them too, how it's going to be really jarring every time you watch the people who created this lore effectively rewrite it and second guess it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Dave Filoni for a second before we get into season 2, because I just need to vent about this. Okay, so, here, perfect. I got this page pulled up. So, I think I've told you a little bit about these characters, but so one of the things about Dave Filoni is that he, is working, it's his first live action TV show, even though he worked on the Clone Wars and on Rebels. And so the big thing about Mando and his whole plot is that he can't take off his fucking helmet, which it's like, okay, if they came out and said, yo guys, we don't have the budget to have Pedro Pascal on set every episode, so this is kind of what we have to do, I'd be like, all right, I get it. You're still fucking up the lore, but I get it. And I can give you, like, I'm a human, you're a human, I can give you a pass. But no, they're not saying that. They're just like, no, Mandos can't take off their helmets, and if you do, you're exiled. It's like, all right, Dave fucking Filoni, what about all these fuckers? Okay, let's look at this. This is Satine. She was in Clone Wars. I don't think you've seen it, so I don't think you know who this is. So this was Obi-Wan Kenobi's love interest. And she's like the queen of Mandalore. And do you see a helmet on the Queen of fucking Mandalore's head?
Weirdly enough, unless she's wearing a woman head-shaped helmet, then no. That looks like, unless she's wearing a really good woman head-shaped helmet that like clings directly to her skin, then I'm gonna say probably not. There's definitely not a Mandalorian helmet, that's for sure.
So, Queen of they say Duchess. She's the fucking queen. Queen of Mandalore. Obi-Wan Kenobi's love interest never wears a fucking helmet.
What's this character's name again?
Satine. They based it off of the movie Ewan McGregor. What is it? Moulin Rouge.
Because I was just gonna say though, it was because there is a Sabine in this universe. I can remember which was which. Because
that's Sabine. This is Satine.
Okay, because I just knew they were both in there and whatnot. I was just wondering though, because I was like, if it's the Duchess Sabine though, that's the lady.
No. So Sabine Wren. This is Sabine Wren. Let me.
I was gonna say that would have been really weird because if they had made the Duchess character the one named Sabine, because
this is lady.
Because Sabine de Winter, that's the Lady de Winter from Three Musketeers. That was why I was like wondering if maybe there was some influence there. The Duchess Sabine. Okay, let's just change the B to a T and use that name.
No,
somewhere else.
They did Satine because Ewan McGregor was in that movie Moulin Rouge, and the girl's name is Satine. They didn't confirm it, but we all know that's why. So, but Sabine. God, these names are way too similar now.
They really are. I don't like it. It's okay. They're both weird names that you don't hear a lot anyway, and they're both in the same show, and it's like, why?
Well, so Sabine is in Rebels, and Satine Satine, I'm just going to say that. I'm going to pronounce it wrong just so that there's enough difference.
That's
Satine is in Clone Wars. So you get to meet, and this is another thing. Even the new season of Clone Wars that came out, that Disney, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to give you guys the last season of Clone Wars. It's like, well, they already had it made. You guys just canceled it and then you changed shit about it. But it all revolves around the siege of Mandalore. And that's like a big thing in the books and in the TV shows, which now are canon because of Disney. And because since they put out that last season, that makes all of the Clone Wars TV show canon. Mm-hmm. So Dave Filoni, who was a big fucking part of both of the TV shows, you would think that he would fucking know that. This is Satine.
Especially when the thing is, especially when they have plans to cross over the universes too. Like they already have confirmed Ahsoka for this, season and whatnot. So you already have plans to cross over your Clone Wars universe with your Mandalorian universe. You'd think then, especially then, you would think about keeping those, the lore consistent.
Mm-hmm. Well, so doesn't wear a helmet. This is Bo-Katan, which is going to be introduced in this season of Mando. Mm. She wears a helmet, but she takes it off all the time. Sabine, she's always repainting her helmet, and she does wear it in battle, but there's no problem with taking it off. And so that whole thing, it's just very frustrating. And then the idea of we have to hide underground and hide our numbers. Mandos, they honestly, let me find Candace. They don't give a fuck, dude.
No, that's like, I mean, I get if they're trying to say like as a result of the end of the war that they've been driven, but that's not the way they set it up. They set it up like the Mandalorians have for a long time been this like hunted and whatever race,
Well, so like, with Mandalorians, so the first that they go back is so this is actually my favorite Mandalorian, which is Canderous. He's from KOTOR, which they steal a lot of the plot points for Mando. But then they get it wrong. They fuck it up. And I'm like, how do you fuck up something? It's just, honestly, you guys have the IP, just fucking use it. It's great. But so KOTOR revolves around the Mandalorian Wars, where the Mandalorians were basically taking on the Republic and trying to take over planets and conquer planets, and then do the whole thing where if they kill you, they take in your children, they raise them as Mandalorians, which is a very smart way to build up their culture. Yep. And so Canderous is actually in KOTOR as well, but he's the leader of, so when you become the leader, you become Mandalore. So he's Mandalore in KOTOR too.
Okay.
Fucking great character. And guess what? Whole fucking game he's not wearing a damn helmet. So that inconsistency drives me crazy. But let's talk about Mando season 2, episode 1. You give your 2 thoughts on it, and I'm gonna give mine.
So there were elements of season 2, episode 1 that were definitely a rehash of the first one. It definitely followed the same formula. It felt like it kind of wanted to reset our pace for the start of a new season, which the thing is, while that's not amazing, it's also not egregious, if that makes sense. It's like, I would have liked to see something more original, but at the same time, the fact that they rehashed the Mudhorn plotline, to me, isn't more egregious than what I think. It's very common that television shows use their first episode of their next season, especially if they do more long arcs and less episodic, to rehash the sort of the tone of the show. So again, while I think it's lazy, it's not egregious. That said, the other parts, I did like a lot of other parts of the episode. I thought all the things that were new and different from the style of plot we had seen before were fun.
Like what?
I love getting to see a crate dragon. I thought it was really cool to get to see one actualized, and I thought they did a really nice job with that. I thought the CGI looked good for it. The magnitude, really trying to encapsulate the scale of this thing, the little detail that it lived in a hollowed out Sarlacc pit, a Sarlacc pit from which it had consumed the Sarlacc, like little things like that where you're like, oh shit, this is like a leveled up badass. This is like Tatooine ecosystem too. And like those are the things when they do something, when the Mandalorian does those moments right, those are the moments where I go, this show gets it. And that's, I think, is a lot of Favreau, where it's the intelligence about the world, the idea about the world, fleshing it out, making it richer, creating a Tatooine that feels like what the a New Hope Tatooine might have felt like after 5 years after Return of the Jedi or something. I think he does. I think those are the things that Filoni brings, that Favreau brings to the table, and that he brings to the table really well. I think that the things that Filoni brings to the table are the things that all feel forced or contradictory or too contrived. And then I think that Favreau sometimes takes the comedy too far. So to me, this episode had a lot of that Favreau richness and world building. I liked the Cowboys and Indians take with the Sand People in that town. I liked Timothy Oliphant's character. I thought he was really, I thought he played exactly. I mean, Timothy Olyphant for me always delivers. He's always kind of, for someone who always has such a specific look and voice and attitude, he plays so many different kinds of characters. He always has this. He's always very self-assured, but he's been a good guy, a bad guy, or whatever. And so he's always I think he's always dynamic and fun to watch because you don't really know who he's gonna be. So all those things, and then bringing back what's his face, that guy from the alien in the Tatooine car. So the things like that, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Okay, doing a Cowboys and Indians style. Let's work with each other, work with the Sand People, peaceable solution, whatnot. I'm like, okay, none of this is original or fascinating or whatever, but it is fun to watch the blending of these very classic Western tropes with the Star Wars universe. So again, I think that's all really going back to the stuff I liked about the first episode of the first season, where it's sort of, to me, this episode reiterated the thesis of the show, which is, what if we had a true classic Western in the Star Wars universe? And that thesis is good. And that some elements of the presentation are good. And so I liked that because I'm on board with that thesis. It doesn't start to really go wrong for me until this next episode. And the one last thing I'll say is the thing I, of course, really, really loved about season 2, episode 1 is getting to see my friend Isaac, who I did not know ahead of time was going to be in this episode. So it was a surprise to be watching Nando talk to the Twi'lek, hear the Twi'lek respond and go, Isaac? And it was, in fact, my friend that Anna, you have met an interview with before. So
I have met. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I'm just like, oh my goodness, you were on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right? It's fun. But yeah, so those are my all-encompassing thoughts of season 2, episode 1.
Okay. So we're going to talk about KOTOR.
Okay.
So, as you know, I was told, Anna, you got to play this video game. And I was just like, guys, I fucking suck at video games. Like, we don't care. You just need to play because you need to experience this story. And I was like, fine. And then I was like, oh my God, this is life. I want it on an IV into my blood because it's the best. And it actually became my favorite time period in the Star Wars universe. I love KOTOR. I love that. And I was surprised that I even liked the second video game better than the first video game. But for those in the chat, if you're not too familiar with the plot, in KOTOR, the first video game, Knights of the Old Republic, it's when the Mandalorians are at war with the Republic, and there's, hundreds and hundreds of Jedi, and, there's hundreds and hundreds of Sith. But then the main Sith was this Sith called Revan, and something happened to Revan, and your character was involved, but you have no memory. And so Revan and his apprentice Malik, they were Jedi, and then something happened and they went on this journey, and when they came back, they were on the dark side. And so since Revan went missing and now Malik is in charge and trying to wipe everyone out, you have to go and find the planet that Malik and Revan went to. And because it's a video game, you obviously have tasks. And so your task is that you need to go find different pieces of this star map. And so you have to go to different planets and you do all these tasks and find each piece of the star map on each planet that's hidden, and that Revan hid. Revan was the one that hid the pieces of the star map just in case anything went wrong. You could go back to that planet and figure it out. So it was like his escape plan, or, his backup plan. So your character and a few others are on this mission, and you got to go find the star map. Let me pull up visuals. That way everyone can see. And so this is kind of what this is what the star map looks like. There's Revan, there's Malik. let me open this bigger. So you need to go and find these, right? So this is a video game that's been out for like what, 20 years now? I don't know. It's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
Great fucking video game, great plot. And so one of the things that you have to do is you have to go to Tatooine because there's a star map on Tatooine, and you're kind of retracing Revan's steps because nobody knows why Revan turned to the dark side. And so your character, because your character was in the battle with Revan and Malik when Revan disappeared, you're trying to regain your memory and like retrace the footsteps because you have the Force, so obviously something happened. 15 years or so. Okay, so almost 20 years, over a decade ago. And so you have to go to Tatooine. And one of the missions that you have to go on Tatooine is that you get to meet this character called HK, which was that robot that I painted. And so you have to talk to the Sand People. And one of the things that they did with KOTOR, or excuse me, with the Mandalorian, was they made and let me try to find this screenshot because it's absolutely insufferable. But one of the things that they did was that they got rid of the Sand People's language, the Tusken Raiders language, and then they made them speak sign language, which is super, super disrespectful to the characters and the lore about it because do you remember in episode 1 when you see the pearl? When they're like holding up a pearl?
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole let me get just okay, so this is an insufferable tweet, but let me see if I can where did I have it? Okay, so you have to go talk to the Sand People, and the Sand People basically tell you, we'll give you the information you need because you need information from them because they also have somebody held hostage that you need to save. But so they tell you, okay, well, we'll help you. We'll give you the supplies you need, and we'll help you accomplish your mission, which you have to finish this mission. If you go, you have to kill this crate dragon, and you have to bring us its pearl. And you have the option. You do have to kill the crate dragon, but you have the option of either keeping the pearl use it as an upgrade for your lightsaber, or you give it to the Sand People, and then you get to learn about the history of their people and of Tatooine. And so when you give the pearl to the Sand People, you actually find out that Tatooine was once like a lush planet, and the Sand People were the original like people on the planet, and something happened, and it's one of the reasons why they hate outsiders and they don't have any problem like just committing genocide basically against anyone that they meet. They're very xenophobic because aliens came in and terraformed the planet, turned it to sand, killed the planet, and basically almost wiped all of them out. So that's why they hate other people, and that's why they kill everyone.
Okay. That makes sense.
So they do have this language. So that's why when you see the Krayt Dragon and the Mandalorian, they don't really like highlight it, but you can see like the Sand People here, they're digging through the body because they want the pearl.
Yep.
Because the pearl is sacred to them.
That's actually really cool. That actually it kind of makes me like that episode better in a way, because I was worried that it was some weird callback to like the egg thing from the from before, but it was like, it clearly was. So I actually like knowing that there's a deeper significance to that pearl that's been explored before. So that's kind of, that part's cool, but I'm assuming they probably fucked it all up somewhere.
They did. That's why I'm taking you on this journey and why I hated it so much.
I assume that's where we were headed.
So I absolutely loved the game, and I loved learning about all of this. And then there's like even more, because you do get to learn about the alien species that destroyed the planet, but it was really interesting to learn about in the game to learn about the Sand People and more about them and why they are the way that they are and how they're like humans or I wouldn't say like humans, but they're like people to each other, but then they'll just kill anything else. And it's because what happened to their planet. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of see how it's like inbred into their culture the way that they are. But let me pull up the tweet. So this was something that I saw, and it just made my blood boil, because it's like, oh my god, the virtue signaling is strong. And it says, for at the Mandalorian, they hired an actual deaf actor to play one of the Tusken Raiders and help create Tusken Sign Language. They did this because a hearing person who knew ASL suggested it. It's our responsibility when we're in the room to look around and see who's missing.
No, that's a false statement. That is not like, oh God, if I look around, let's say my Thanksgiving table this year and realize there's not a deaf person, I better go find one or I'm a bad person. Like, what the fuck is that? This is the bullshit of, no, not every single version of every single person needs to be represented in every single form of media all of the time. Should there be a place for deaf actors in Hollywood? Absolutely. Is that place in every episode of every TV show and on every movie set? Sorry, it just isn't. It's just not. That's just not how storytelling works. That's the thing. Movie making is not about building a micro world where everyone's included and feels special. Movie making is about telling a good fucking story. And if you have to sacrifice the story to do all this other little bullshit, this other little bullshit ain't important.
Exactly. And it really pisses me off that they decided to just get rid of, and it could be a small thing, for especially for people that, like, it wouldn't necessarily bother me if I hadn't played KOTOR and I knew about this, but because I have, it infuriates me that they like, okay, you guys aren't going to have a language, you guys are going to have sign language, you're going to get rid of this whole aspect of your character, and then we're going to throw in an Easter egg from the video game, so that way.
Well, that was the stupidest part at the end of the day, too. They still had a spoken language that the Mandalorian spoke to them. So, like, it was established right there that they do have a spoken language and that people who are not Tusken Raiders have the vocal cords to speak their language to them. And so there's this whole business of, oh, we also wanted. It's like, first of all, one or the other. Like, you can't even commit to your little diversity kick. If your whole thing is going to be, oh, well, we're going to make Tusken Raiders
hey guys, let's not spam my chat, please.
Yeah, chill out, guys. If you're here to spam, you're not welcome. Do we have any mods handy? If not, I'll go.
I did it already, but
all right,
yeah, let's not spam.
Basically, this guy needs to fuck up and go away. Shut the fuck up and go away. But if, yeah, go away. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So if you're like, oh, Star Wars is about social justice now, so we're gonna make the Tusken Raiders a group of people who only communicate using hand signals because we want to pay homage to deaf people, and then we'll make all of our Tusken Raiders deaf actors because then we can employ a bunch of deaf people to do that. You know what? Fucking, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I think it's antithesis to movie making, but at least it's consistent. At least I would prefer that to this. To we're going to give them a spoken language. We're going to demonstrate unequivocally that people who aren't them can speak this language too. But for some reason, we're also going to have this complicated sign language that they need to use to communicate as well. Which to me is just more racism. Because what does that say? It says that we don't accept that these primitive sounding grunts could actually be a complicated language, because we are too fucking xenophobic and racist to realize that somebody else's language that sounds like nonsense to us might sound like complicated verbiage to them. So we're going to make up sign language for them because we are too fucking racist to realize that people speaking non-English languages might be just intelligent and just as verbose and just as eloquent as we are.
Well, yeah, and so that's one of the things in KOTOR is that this is HK, this is the character that I painted. So this is the droid that you have to fix. And so this is the droid that can speak to the Tusken Raiders for your character, because humans cannot speak their language.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a droid, which, I mean, I don't know what the whole thing is with Mandos and droids, even though it seemed at the end of the last season that he's completely fine with them now and he's changed his ways.
That's weird to me too. It's like, you don't go from being like so not trusting of droids that you won't let one pilot your transport to like, oh, I have absolutely literally no problem with droids whatsoever because I had a good experience with one of them.
I know.
That's
So
not how emotions
this would have
work.
been a great character point, is that they need to work with the sand people. And also the whole thing, it's like, oh yeah, this city that just doesn't exist anymore, even though he gets there and there's clearly functioning businesses, which I'm like, where do functioning businesses get their supplies from on a desert planet? Oh yeah, they get them from wholesales. What does that mean? Oh yeah, it exists and there's trade routes. So it just...
It's a desert. It's not like they're growing all this shit here. If they have a crate
they have
dragon
to import everything.
Exactly. They have a crate dragon regularly eating their livestock. I don't think they've got like massive moisture farms and like a whole fucking agricultural setup going on, just out of sight. So they're clearly getting their shit from somewhere. They're not
So it's not this it's not the
desert.
lost city of fucking Atlantis that's completely self-sustaining. It's they need outside imports to fucking survive.
Exactly. I mean, like I liked the overarching theme and the cowboys and Indians and all that stuff, but the minutia and the actual execution really fell apart in this episode. That was one way. Honestly, it wasn't as stupid, but I didn't like the Mandalorian speaking their language. I thought that was one of those that to me it was one of those ones where like, and again, that's an idiocy in Star Wars of like, there are certain species like a Tusken Raider under all that doesn't really look that human, and just like the reason animals can't speak English and the reason we can't mimic their noises is because our vocal cords are made differently. If a species can speak in these nuanced guttural forms of that, it's just like even a fucking regular human beings. People who are not Chinese people, actually, their palates are genetically, predisposed to speak their language because of selective breeding and whatnot over years and years and years. The most people's mouths are shaped who aren't Chinese have trouble actually pronouncing Chinese words because of the fucking physical shape of our mouth. The same thing with the Kung people in Africa, the Kung, if you want to be technically correct about it, because their palates developed differently and their vocal cords developed differently because of their languages, so that a lot of those clicks that they can just naturally integrate with their regular verbalized like speech is natural for them, but we physically can't do it, or it would take us a really fucking long time. And that's always been a thing to me in Star Wars, where like you can know Huttese, but even like something like that, you could know words in Huttese, but it's never going to sound right coming out of someone else's mouth because of the way the Hutts are. But there were other species like a Chewbacca, who he's clearly saying words and people clearly can understand. You never fucking heard Han talk Wookiee to Chewbacca like fucking Alden Ehrenreich in Solo. not because Han doesn't know how to speak Wookiee, because Han is not a fucking Wookiee and can't just go and make the words. And that it's the same fucking shit with the Tusken Raiders. It's always been that way, and it should have been that way. So this business of him walking in and just it sounds like parody. It sounds like you're mockery. So when they want us fucking sit here and be all like, oh well, we got to do something. We're gonna add diversity because the Tusken Raiders are the native people and it's offensive and blah blah blah. And you're doing that by literally making a mockery of their culture, and that was something, not to too much of a time. I read a fucking article actually tearing down the central Cowboys and Indians theme of the episode, which is not the problem. There are lots of problems in that.
I mean, you can do the Cowboy and Indians. I felt like even the freaking cantina scene is very, very Western in OG Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you get that feel like this. It's not the Old West, but I mean, it's their equivalent in their universe. But I do see this through Nightmare 9. A Mandalorian or a Mando helmet includes a vocabulator. Well, they do need to address that. And also, that doesn't take away from the fact that they just miraculously changed their language, which he does speak.
No. Hold on, though.
Sign language.
Hold on, though, Anna, because you didn't watch the second episode, because the second episode actually destroys that argument. That argument's gone, because the entire impetus of the beginning of the second episode is that this passenger he takes on, he can't speak to her. He doesn't even know what's so important about all this until she figures out how to mock up a droid as a translator for herself to translate what she's saying to him. because she's just literally a frog. Except turns out they only you're gonna love this, right? So they need her to be able to communicate this one specific thing to him. So she mocks up a droid in the ship that's crash landed, just so she can communicate this to him. And you're thinking, oh, finally, she's actually gonna be a character, because the entire first half of the episode, she is literally a frog who croaks and hugs her eggs and shivers, and because we can't understand her. And so you're like, great, she's actually gonna be a character, and she does start to talk. And you're like, oh, she's really interesting, and clearly there's more to her, because we thought she's this primitive frog species, but clearly this species has advanced intelligence because she can work with a droid and all that. I'm like, she's getting interesting. And then we leave the ship and leave the fucking droid. We don't figure out how to like take the head with us and continue to translate. No, we just fucking leave it, walk around and spend and then come back onto the ship with this droid. Conveniently, it's in the part of the ship they can't get to now, though. So now and the episode ends, we're stuck on the bridge, and he still can't fucking talk to her. So I'm like, what the hell was the point of this convenient little Deus Ex Machina to be like, oh, you can talk to her now, just to fucking get rid? All it was is you need to convey this one piece of information, so you wrote this shit lazily into it and then took it away again. But what that does is it completely nullifies this. No, if the Mando have an conclusive vocabulary, well, then it doesn't have her fucking vocabulary in it. So I guess
it wouldn't make sense why he would have a vocabulary that could speak Tusken Raider, which are a species that are completely and utterly xenophobic and are unwilling to teach anyone else their language. And the only reason HK knew how to speak it was because Revan formed an alliance with them and got them to teach the language to HK. Revan, one of the most notorious Jedi / Sith to ever live.
Yeah. And that's the whole shit too, where it's not like he grew up on Tatooine. This is like as far as we know, this is like his second visit to Tatooine ever. And so there's no reason he would have had this tons of contact with the Sand People, all these of them. Maybe he's been there once or twice before because, he has some sort of knowledge of the Sand People and whatnot. But certainly you would think that if his vocabulator knew how to fucking speak Sand People, it's going to know what this frog lady's saying too. So
I guess YouTube is broken.
Apparently YouTube's broken. I'm hearing some people are seeing us and some people are just buffering.
Yeah, mine is. I just updated mine to see if it was working.
Yours is broken?
Mine is broken. I guess YouTube's just YouTube's just on its period. It's YouTube's time of the month, but we're gonna keep going. But and I apologize if anyone misses out. I see some people say it's working and other people's aren't. Maybe it's the region that you're in.
It might be a region to region. Mine isn't working either.
But so it's where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about
at the end of the day, people should still be able to catch the replay if it's not buffering now. So
yes, and it'll be on my live channel. But so with the episode and with what I was getting at is they take like I was saying, you have to go kill the Krayt Dragon because the star map that you need to go find Revan is in its cave. So the only way to get to it is that you have to kill the Krayt Dragon. And then when you kill the Krayt Dragon, you'll be able to get the pearl from within its body, and you can either keep that to upgrade your lightsaber or give it to the Tusken Raiders. That way you can learn about their tales and history of Tatooine and about their culture. So it's up to you on which one you want to do. I am one of those people that I did both. I gave it to them, and then I learned everything, and then I went back to a previous save, and I just went on my merry way from there. But so that way you can experience both. But so then you go into the cave, you find the star map, you find some stuff with Bastila and her stuff. You find out all the information, but it was an important mission for you. And one of the things that I liked about it was that even though I'm terrible at video games, I'm sure somebody else that has a lot of experience playing video games had no problem with it. But for me, it was one of those things where I think I died a few times. And so I had to reload it from a past save and just play. And so it depends on how strong your character is. Now, Season 2, Episode 1, Season 3 is it's renewed for Season 3. It already got the go-ahead. I am not afraid in the slightest for Mando going up against a crate dragon. There is no anxiety for me. And also, there's like, what, 200 fucking people? Well, you know, not just humans, but Tusken Raiders, aliens and stuff. And he just kind of stands there, helps. I'm air quoting. I know you can't see me. He helps, does something at the end, and then they defeat it and kill it. And it's like, I had no anxiety. I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because it's like, there's really no risk. If people die, it's throwaway characters. There's no, and it's not even necessarily that he's going to die is the thing that like makes you sit on the edge of your seat. It's like, oh my God, there's a chance he's not going to accomplish this. You know, from the very get-go, once they present this thing that he's got to go do, you're like, okay, he's going to accomplish it. We have 20 minutes left. He's going to get it done.
Well, that's where I think this is just a genre thing for you, and not really not necessarily bad writing, because that is the nature of this like one-off West, like the lone wolf Western riding into town to do something and ride off. Is you're not supposed to be afraid for their life, and you're not supposed to it's not supposed to be about watching the situation and going, oh God, I'm really afraid for him, or I really think it's going to fall apart. It's about setting up these seemingly impossible situations where you know they're going to do it. And the fun, if you're invested, is following along going, how are they going to do it? So for Jeff and I, who are on board with the action sequences and a lot of elements of the show, or were, you know, until now, this was fine for us, because it was never about, is he going to kill the crate dragon? Is he going to succeed at the mission? You knew going into that it was going to get killed, and he was going to be somehow responsible for it. So you're just waiting to see what badass thing happens, what cool visual, what, you know, whatever. And that's like, that's not for you. You definitely, I know you don't like that kind of storytelling. You don't, because of the way it's presented, because it's presented in a way where you feel like it's asking you what's going to happen next, but it really isn't. But you're the kind of person who your mind's always figuring out what happens next. So, and that's an exciting part of movie watching for you. So when something's presented to you as if you're supposed to be figuring it out, but it's too easy to figure out, because the whole thing is that you're really not supposed to be figuring it out. You're supposed to know what's going to happen and enjoy watching the process. But that's not the way you like to engage with your stories. And so this type of story, even if The Mandalorian was done perfectly for what it's trying to be, even if it didn't have all these flaws and stuff we're talking about, I still don't think you would like the show, because I still think it has a lot of storytelling elements that, even when they're done correctly, are not the type of storytelling you like.
Well, yes and no, because there's been like storytelling. Okay, so it's like the Terminator.
Yeah.
Run away from the Terminator, he's going to try to kill you. It's like, okay, well, you're either going to live or you're going to die. And I'm assuming because there's a Terminator 2, 3, and however many are after that, if you choose that they exist or not, I prefer not. We can just stop after. T3 is like mediocre, but we'll just stop at 2.
So, 3 is pretty abysmal. I'm happy with 1 and 2.
Yeah,
we don't need to go beyond 2.
Compared to the other ones, it makes 3 look like a masterpiece.
Honestly, I haven't seen anything past 3 because I was done, and I won't because I'm afraid of that being true.
Oh, trust me, it is.
I believe you. That's why
never in my life did I think I'd say, wow, T3 is so much better than these other movies. And then you watch them, it's like, oh my God, what did I just watch? God. But so it's like Terminator, there's not really much to figure out. It's like, run away from Terminator or he's going to kill you. And then
that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying, is that what The Mandalorian does, it's that slight difference. So that's why I don't think you mind a movie at all that doesn't ask you to figure anything out. I think what the problem is here is that this type of show, it really does. It's almost the kind of thing that sets up the mystery and the this and the that. And so it presents itself like a show.
Well, they're trying to make Mando more mysterious, but then it's like, but I'm not interested in him, so there's no mystery.
But the problem also is it presents itself as a show, like a show that asks you to ask those questions, but they're not. But the mystery isn't actually there. So investment or not, I don't think that mystery is there even for people who are looking for it or who are invested and who care. So I think that's where they go wrong, is they bring someone like you into the show on the premise of, if you give it a shot, you want to come in on the premise of like, if you want me to care about your mysterious, face unseen Mandalorian and this and that and the other, you got to give me reasons to care. What this show's asking you to do is not actually to try to figure out his past or his backstory or why you should care about him or whatnot or whatever, or if you should figure out what's going to happen next or how it's going to happen or this. It's just asking you to go along for the journey and watch him, blow shit up on this path. And I think that's where it loses you a lot, is that it sets you up like it wants you to and like it's asking you to figure out its puzzles and its mysteries. But then the disappointment is that there really aren't any. And so the show maybe shouldn't be asking you to do that so much. It shouldn't be, the premises maybe shouldn't be as mysterious and as convoluted, because the executions and the payoffs are not. And that may be where it turns you off before you can even get invested, is just that it doesn't know. It's lost its thesis in the execution very quickly, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I think that's kind of why I just choose not, because you're like, why haven't you talked about it? Why haven't you reviewed it? And I'm like, I have no interest in this to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from Baby Yoda, if this show was 100% about Baby Yoda, I would be on board. I even told Peaches, because I was like, people keep bugging me to talk about the show. I was like, what if I did and I presented it as if review of Mandalorian season 2 episode 2 or episode 1, and all I do is squeal. I'm like, so Baby Yoda did this, and Baby Yoda did this, and Baby Yoda did this, and at last throwaways, and it's like, oh yeah, and Mando did this. That was the episode. I was like, I'm not a funny person, but that would be my comedic take at doing reviews of this, because oh yeah, it is down. Oh shoot.
So
yeah,
I don't know if anyone someone says out. I've heard out in Canada, out in New Zealand. Can anyone still see us? Is the question. Thanks, Mandatory Carrie.
Yes, thank you, Mandatory Carrie. Thank you for the super chat. I'm at work, but hashtag keep fighting. Thank you so much. You're always at work. Anytime I stream, and whenever Mandatory Carrie comments, it's always like, I'm at work, but keep fighting the good fight. And I'm like, do you ever have an hour off? But yeah, and I didn't like that they took the whole plot from KOTOR and they kind of they have a really bad habit in this show of shoving it in just to say, oh, here, we're going to throw you some Easter eggs, but we're going to shove in Easter eggs all the time in your face so you can't miss them. And it's become a real thing with Disney. And I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of Disneyland, but when you go to Disneyland, it's oh, the hidden Mickeys.
Yeah. I think that's cool too, though.
There's some that it's everybody knows where it is, but then it's special if you see one that's not a popular hidden Mickey. And so this, it's I feel they're very much, okay, well, we're Disney now, so here's the hidden Mickey, but it's not hidden and it's not special if it's right up in your face. I thought it was clever when you're watching Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones is in the temple and it's not in your face, but if you're paying close enough attention, you can see R2 and 3PO in the hieroglyphics. Now that's an Easter egg that I
love that
special,
one.
And it's oh my God, I saw it. It's not, hey, we're going to shove this thing right in your face with this pearl that, guess what, you already did in the video game. It's can you guys be a little, the art of subtlety is completely lost, but that is actually a Jon Favreau problem, not a Dave Filoni problem.
The funny thing is with that though, it's it's weird. I wonder if he ever played KOTOR, or maybe it's just been a really long time, because it's I could see that. Well, it's also something about it where it's yeah, no, I don't know, because I'm curious to hear how other people in the chat who have maybe played more Knights of the Old Republic felt about this, about that moment if they watched Mando. Because for me, just hearing about it, but not having played the game, I like the nod, because the thing is, it's a nod to a specific subset of Star Wars fans. Even though it's an obvious one, it is a nod only to people who played KOTOR. And there's something about that I think is kind of nice, where I can understand feeling it's heavy-handed, but the devil's advocate to that is isn't that kind of neat though that he took doesn't that demonstrate that he's a fan in a way though, that he's giving a nod to just I could see how it doesn't feel subtle at all, but I had no idea what it was, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so people who just didn't play the game, you know, don't necessarily know that detail. And I there's a part of me that's what I like about the Favreau influence is the part where he's clearly a fan approaching this. And so some of that helped me, like some of that I think is again where he gets the details right. So I'm curious what the chat thinks if they can see any of us, but I don't, because they're not talking. They can't talk to us right now if they can't see us at all. But I'd be curious to hear what other people think of that as a reference, because for me that's cool reference. The other stuff around it and the way it destroys the rest of the lore about the Tusken Raiders is not cool from the episode.
Guys, stop spamming my chat.
Exactly. Stop.
I don't care. Stop calling people names. Stop bringing politics. We're talking about fucking Star Wars and crate dragons.
Exactly. Go away. Be an
Jesus.
asshole.
Well, see, I wouldn't have a problem with him giving a note to KOTOR, but it's like, okay, you're giving a nod to something, but at the same time, you're completely disrespecting it and you're fucking up what it was. You're just taking like some of the flashy stuff from it to add into your show to say, oh, look at this is a KOTOR reference, this is a KOTOR reference. But then it's like, but you're fucking up the whole story and the whole arc that happened with it, with the Sand People, and then just throwing it in because they want to have that. It's like, oh my God, I'm trying to, like, you know, that meme where it's like, use the Force, Gandalf, and then it's like a picture of, like, I don't know, Sir Patrick Stewart in a Star Trek uniform.
Sorry, say that again.
You know the meme where it's like, use the Force, Harry, and it says like,
it's all the like fucked up
Gandalf, and then it's like Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, all the fucking.
It's like when you have
the
like ingredients, but you're getting it wrong.
Yeah.
That's what happens when Jon Favreau does this, which he always does. He's like, oh yeah, let's just throw that in there. Let's throw that in there. The thing is that doesn't make me mad though, is that I know he's coming from a good place when he does it.
He means well. When he fucks up,
yeah,
when
he means well by doing it, but it's frustrating.
I agree.
It never gets better. That's my thing. It'd be one thing if it's like, okay, he did it a couple times, he's like, oh shit, like, yeah, I kind of fucked up, let me fix it. But it's just every time he does this, it's always off. And it irritates me. But it's like, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at that it's a continuous problem that he's not fixing.
I think sorry, I agree, but the places where he pisses me off more, I haven't had as much of an issue with the way he does fan service in general in Mandalorian and in other parts of his work. I actually don't mind it. For me, it usually, now again, I'm not going to say this particular moment one way or the other because I haven't played the game, so I really can't say whether it feels right or wrong. Like I said, that's my take, is I like the nod to KOTOR fan players, but I can't speak to whether the reference feels right or wrong having not played it. But whatchamacallit?
Do you mind talking for a minute? I need to run to the restroom and go take more pain meds for my finger.
That's fair. Do you mind if I I'll wait till you get back, because I don't want to transition to episode 2 until you're back, especially since you haven't seen
okay.
You get the context.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll hold down the
there
fort.
You go, peace. I'll be right back.
I will hold down the fort. So, sorry, guys. Sorry, we know you guys can't see the stream, but we are still going for you because we are still broadcasting from our home, which means we're still recording, which means you will hopefully get a chance. Hopefully, if you're hearing me say this, it's because you're watching it later. But we're gonna do what we do. Words. So I guess we'll probably, dive into our episode 2 stuff and then wrap. What? Oh no, I'm just hanging here for a second. She just went to the bathroom for real quick.
I didn't know if you needed to bounce off something.
Nah, I was just because I was getting right. I was on my bridge to episode 2 and I was ready to do it. And then she was like, hold down for the fort for once. I was like, literally the rest of the point I was in the middle of making. Huh? Oh yeah, come follow our Twitch channel that we're gonna make soon. Because it's literally, oh yeah.
We're gonna make it.
Oh yeah. So keep an eye out. Are we solid on mindless BS?
Well, how about this? We'll give them an official announcement on my show tomorrow about the channel name, and then we'll try to shoot for our
Yes. All right.
Plan.
Excellent.
We'll make the announcement tomorrow, but just tell everyone to be ready because everything's here.
That's true. We are prepped and ready to go. So make sure you turn into World Class Bullshitters tomorrow night for a very, very special announcement regarding our Twitch channel. Tune in to Thirsty Thursday after that because we'll reiterate the announcement and get hammered. And that's what that's our next few days are gonna be. So that's gonna be really cool. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And we'll hopefully have something exciting for you on Friday. All right, Ronan Blade in the chat says old videos plays. Oh, Nitrium says it's working for him now. So maybe if bitches refresh, then we'll be okay. We'll be all right. So Nitrium, you can see and hear me. Is that what's up? Let me know if you're in the guys. If you are in the chat and you can see and hear us. Let us know. Berserk Guts clearly can because he's already drunk. So that's, okay. So everyone's back. Are we all back now? Or is anyone? All right. Never stopped for Lukov. Oh, that's cool. Weird.
I have returned.
Cool beans. All right. So it looks like we might be getting back. It might be getting back. A few people never dropped us. Lukov says you could see us the whole time.
Yeah, my thing was fine until I refreshed the stream, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, working in Berserker Guts can see us. Apparently, we're working in Puerto Rico, a couple other places, so maybe we're getting back on track. But anyway, I was just teasing our Twitch because our Xbox and our new television are here. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting, and we just got to get the TV set up because currently the box takes up most of the floor. So it's really exciting. It got here this morning.
How big of a TV did you guys get?
It's 65 inches.
Is that a lot?
It is. The one we have right now is 42 for context. So on the diagonal, this screen will be almost 2 feet bigger.
Oh.
Yep. So you're going to have to come over for movie night and or video games one of these days soon. We are very excited.
I will be over at your guys' house and probably, well, I don't know because of holidays. Are you guys traveling?
Not till December.
Okay, so then
yeah, except for maybe a weekend.
There's this thing that I need to show you and Jeff in person.
Oh, that thing, right. Yeah.
That one thing. So I'm probably once that thing concludes,
we'll be hanging out pretty tomorrow
and the next day. Then I will have to grace you with my presence.
Oh darn! How sad. We'll have to make a whole thing of it. We'll have to make a whole thing of it.
We will probably make a huge thing of it, but yeah. So I'll probably be seeing you in the flesh soonish, right?
I'm so stoked. I'm very stoked for that. Super, super stoked. Since we are having these issues, it does seem like I think some people still can't see us. I don't know who's what. Whatchamacallit? I said, should we dive into our season 2 or episode 2 discussion? And then probably
I guess we can. I haven't watched it because I have no interest in the show. But I want you guys all to know, this is a big grown-up moment for me. Guess what I just did?
What did you just do?
I ate a vitamin.
We're very proud of you.
I heard that one of the reasons I might always be cold is that I might need to take vitamins, according to my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Oh, if you're low on B12, that a symptom of that is that you're always cold." And I was like, where the fuck are these vitamins? How can I inject them into my body? So I bought the Kittiest Kid B12 vitamins that are gummies that taste like raspberries. And I had one.
Nice. I'm proud of you.
So it's healthy.
Hey, can you hold on for me real quick? I got to run to the bathroom just real quickly.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys about these vitamins. So it says it's gummy vitamins, energy support, supports the metabolism of fats and proteins. But the thing that drove me crazy about this was when I was looking, I was like, okay, well, you get vitamins from the food you eat. And it's like, you get this vitamin from meat. And I'm like, I eat a shit ton of meat. How do I have a deficiency in this damn vitamin? So I'm going to take it for a while, see if it makes any changes. But I am currently taking vitamin B12. So hopefully it helps. Oh, hello, Kelsey. I hope you are doing well. I'll guess. Oh no, are we boring you? Well, we are going to get into episode 2, but lowdown, I fucking hate the show. I hated the first episode. I didn't even feel the need to watch the second episode, but let's look it up. So we'll go Mando season 2. My opinion on this is that it should just be Baby Yoda all the time, every day, everywhere. Maybe episode 2. So I saw that people were losing their fucking minds because this episode, Baby Yoda is eating these eggs, and everyone's like, oh no, Baby Yoda's evil because he's eating the damn eggs. And it's like, but he's so cute, he's a little baby. And if anything, that's just bad parenting. Mando is a terrible parent. Mando just, oh no, did it crash again? Did it crash again? God damn it. Yeah, it's not working for me. I don't know what happened. Well, I guess I will just keep talking because that's what I do. But so, okay. Mando left Baby Yoda in the car and then wondered why people were trying to capture him, especially when they're being tracked by that stupid tracking fob that it makes absolutely no sense how it works. But so, Mando is, everyone's mad because Baby Yoda is eating the eggs. Let me see if this will pop up when I type in eggs. Okay, yeah, so here we go. So Baby Yoda is eating these eggs, and everyone's losing their mind because, like, they're like, those are her babies, and Baby Yoda is eating the babies, and it's bad because she loves those babies, even though I saw somebody say it's unfertilized, so they're not going to hatch, and that, I guess the plot is that they need to take these eggs to her mate, so that way the babies will get fertilized and then can hatch and can repopulate their species.
Yep.
So it's bad that Baby Yoda is eating them, but at the same time, it's like, here's the thing. He is a baby. Even though he's 50, he is a baby. If a baby is doing something wrong, it is the parent who has to correct it and has to teach the baby what is right and what is wrong. So, have you ever left a baby with puppies or kittens? A dog knows that. Dogs know when it's a baby, as compared to an adult, right? And so when a baby pulls them, they nip at them, so they let them know, don't pull my tail. Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's the thing about this choice, though, and this is the problem: is you are 100% correct if this happened once. So here's the thing, is that this is a running gag in the episode. So the first time it happens, so we've set up, now here's the thing though, is the first bit of information we get, and this is why it works, before he eats an egg the first time, this is before we've gotten the full information. All we know at this point is she needs to get these eggs to her husband within a few days for him to fertilize them, or they'll die. She has a finite amount of time to get them there. They can't use hyperspace because they're very delicate, and something about hyperspace will cause them to destabilize and die, or there's some bullshit reason why they can't use hyperspace, so they have to go this a certain way, and whatever. And day one on the ship and whatnot, Baby Yoda goes and grabs one and sucks one down, and it's a great comedic moment when very first time, because it's all those things. It's like, well, he's a baby and he didn't know better, but oh shit, he shouldn't be doing that. That's someone's future children, and it's funny. It's all of those things in that moment where you're laughing with it. You're like, this is funny, this is fun, okay. And the Mandalorian shuts in and tells him he's not supposed to do it again, and we move on, and everything's great until he does it again. And like the next time he's eaten like a bunch of them. And at that point, at some point shortly after that, we find out that these are not just this woman's children that she's trying to get to her husband so that she can have children with him, but that these are in fact the last eggs of their entire species. And that's what it was. It was originally, it was that it was her lineage. We're set up to believe her lineage is going to die with these eggs. So already, again, the first joke of him eating it the one time, totally fine. There's a whole bunch of eggs in there. He eats one. He's cute. It's whatever. The second time, he eats like half of them. And you're like, we've already learned that this is important to this woman to carry on her name and her lineage and her family to do this.
Is there not a lock on this?
What? What'd you say?
Is there not a lock?
No, apparently fucking not. Or if there is, he can open it. So that's my problem is we already know how important these are. So the one is a funny. Now we do a whole bunch. And then after we learn that not just are these the last of her personal line, but her entire species, he still eats a one more after that. And
well, does he know? Or because I mean, I don't know if he perceives information the same.
Agreed. Here's the problem.
Right?
Here's the problem. So there is that little question of like, we really don't know how much Baby Yoda knows or understands. So for me, him continuing to go back and eat the eggs is just solidifying that he really doesn't understand that. He may see some bigger picture things, but he doesn't understand the details. That's fine.
I think he knows when like somebody's in trouble or somebody's hurt.
But he has to me, there was never any moment in this episode that casts dispersions on Baby Yoda or vilifies Baby Yoda, because there's no point where he knows or understands. The problem I have is the fucking Mando does. That's what
I was kind of getting at. It doesn't seem like Baby Yoda's the villain. It's that
the
Mando and then the mom of the eggs are very okay. So just off the bat, like I didn't watch the episode, but these are the continuation of your species. Why don't you have a lock on this? Why don't you have
exactly?
If they are so fragile, why don't you have them in like a better incubator or something more safe, so that way traveling it, maybe you don't have the resources, something happened that this is
that's the
all
whole
you
joke,
have.
though. That's the whole fucking joke, is by all intents and purposes, this container is very advanced because the creatures and the eggs inside survive a crash landing, getting the thing canister getting kicked around and whatnot. But the thing it can't fucking have is a childproof lock. That's the ridiculous part. It's like, so this is a very technologically advanced container because we learn the eggs are very delicate. They're in this specific temperature-controlled canister. Then they need to be kept at a certain temperature.
On a different planet.
There's that part is explained, like why she's there and has to get there and something like it was her species was destroyed. Her species was wiped out essentially because their planet was mostly destroyed, something in the war or whatever. It's that backstory is fine. That one didn't bother me or anything because it's like their species was wiped out or something like that, and they've been searching.
Why were they separated?
Because he went out because I think he found a lead on a planet that they could live on, like an aqueous planet they could live on. And so he went out to see it and to see if they could actually live there and if it was favorable to them, and then sent for her because he wanted her to stay somewhere safe with the eggs. And he was going to go out to this planet. And if this planet was viable, she would follow him out there to have the baby. So that stuff all tracked. It was like, all right, the reason this woman needs to get there and the reason she's not there already and all that stuff, the explanation in the show, like it tracked. It's like, okay, he's off trying to find a new world for them to live in. He's not going to take her with the eggs because he doesn't know if it's safe. But when he finds somewhere safe, he'll send for her and blah. How she ended up on Tatooine to begin with, I don't. It seems like she's been like she's basically a refugee.
On Tatooine too.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Oh yeah, that's how we pick her up again. That makes a decent amount of sense because you remember the ship keeper from the first Tatooine episode and the last one, the sort of wackadoodle, what's her face, played by
the lady that loves Baby Yoda.
Yeah. So she's back. So when he comes back to Tatooine, we saw that in the first episode that she's back and all that on there. So from the first episode, so when he comes back to fly out, in episode 2. She's like, I've got this job for you, this passenger, if you want to take it for money to pay and whatnot and stuff like that. So it's a job. I think she kind of dupes him into taking it, if I recall correctly. It was something where like she didn't. whatever it was, she convinces him to take this passenger, and she's clearly like this refugee who's been smuggled out of wherever she came from, you know. And so like all that part tracked. That part I didn't have any issue with. The setup, the premise, and this and that. It's a lot of the stuff that happened afterwards that really goes to hell. And my biggest complaint about this episode, beyond anything else too, is that it was not a one-off episode. This 100%, and the fucking ferrying this frog lady, unless it just happens to turn out that the planet that her husband's on happens to be Baby Yoda's homeworld or has a significant lead, which is I'm sure what they're gonna fucking do. I think that's maybe the whole thing. I think maybe it was the whole reason why she's going is because her husband knew Mandalorians, was connected to Mandalorians somehow, and so he's trying to find Mandalorians so they can help him and whatnot, and so she's taking her because her husband can tell her where to find the Mandalorians or whatever. Some bullshit thing like that, where it's like, there's a reason we're all invested in this and doing this. This really should have been we get to your planet, he tells you about the Mandalorians, and we fly off. Like, this episode ends with the ship limping along with, you know, her and him in these dire straits trying to get to their destination. And so it's like, it's very... this should definitely not. This wasn't a good episode to begin with. It 100% should not have been dragged into 2. But to go back to the eggs for a quick second, it's a bad joke the way he carried it on, not because Baby Yoda did anything wrong or bad, but because like all the things you said, there should be a latch. The Mandalorian should, you know, we've seen him as this compassionate character, but now he doesn't give a shit about the preserving, you know, this lineage of a species. Like, this episode's about conservationism, you know, which as a one-off Mandalorian episode with a mind towards conservationism and environmentalism isn't a bad thing, because movies and television have always had, you know, little moments of allegory and stuff in it, but it should be a fucking one-off, and it should just be that nice little thing and move on and done, you know. And also, if your theme is conservationism in this movie or in this episode, why is your main fucking hero doing the worst job of this and doesn't really seem to give a shit? He's like, no, I told you you're not supposed to do that. And that's it. He doesn't even try to he just closes the lid. He doesn't try to latch it, seal it, hide it from Baby Yoda, put it anywhere where he can't get to it.
Ship, you would think that he would have some kind of lock.
Right.
You know, there's something. Like, even like, I mean,
where his guns go. There are places on the ship. There are secure places on the ship.
Fucking not. He's a baby. He has 3 fucking fingers.
Exactly.
Just get a rope and tie a knot, and he won't be able to get into it.
Exactly.
So see, this just shows me that not only is Mando irresponsible, but then the mom of these babies is so irresponsible. So why are they in an area that Baby Yoda has? If he already ate one, why does he have access to it?
Exactly. The whole thing is like, okay, well, the second time when he gets into a whole bunch of them, it's because the ship crash lands and so everything's sort of scattered about. But still, it's like, after that first time, that egg thing should have been somewhere secure. Also, if the frog woman is sitting up on the bridge with the Mando, why doesn't she just have her eggs with her? I don't understand why she leaves them down there to begin with. Yeah, I get it. It's a fucking ladder to get up to the bridge, but you know what? She brings them up at the end of the episode. It's not that inconvenient. I mean, it's necessity at the end, but like, it's not that inconvenient to she wears those on her back as a backpack. You know, it's not like, oh, she's got to lug it up and figure out how to, you know, get it around or something.
Put it in that little thing where he keeps Baby Yoda, and then why doesn't he just keep Baby Yoda with him the whole time and supervise the baby, because it's a fucking baby.
Exactly. And here's the other part to it. And that's the other part that I thought was really stupid. Sketch Therapy says she doesn't count the eggs. She never even noticed. I don't think so. I don't agree. I thought she did notice, because she has a moment of saying like, oh, you don't even care in this. And like, I think she did notice, like, and she's like really aghast that it's happening. But at the same time, it's like such an underreaction. That's another problem with the episode, is like, I could see the Mandalorian underreacting to the gravitas because he doesn't care that much. Okay. I still think he's going to do more to secure it from Baby Yoda. I can see him not getting that upset about it. But when she looks at this thing and realizes half the fucking eggs are gone and she doesn't pitch a goddamn fit, that was such bullshit. So maybe Sketch Therapy's right. Maybe she just didn't know. Maybe she wasn't supposed to have noticed. Maybe she was mad about other things and didn't notice at all. Because like, She should have
And
picked
she's a terrible mother.
fucking fit about this. She's sitting here guilting Mando into taking her to her husband, you know, because I need to be there and my kids and that and this. And she's like writing about how important it is that she gets there and protect these eggs and shit. And she can't be bothered to what? She doesn't even know how many are fucking in there. She doesn't even notice when half of them go missing. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's where the egg thing falls apart for me and where it really detracts from the episode. I don't give a shit about Baby Yoda doing it. I don't think it's like, oh, I'm not aghast at, oh, how could he eat these eggs? He's such a terrible person for doing it. I don't give a shit. Anyone who's doing that is fucking stupid. Exactly. He's a fucking baby. Anyone who's sitting here going, oh, this means Baby Yoda's a bad person is just a moron. But the flip of that is yeah, the way that they leaned into the joke and reused it, it was that moment that really hasn't happened that much yet in the show. Maybe one time in season 1. That thing that destroyed Star Wars. It's let's sacrifice story for the joke, which is Favreau's worst habit when he does it. And that happened to this episode, and something even worse happened after that, which is the backlash and Lucasfilm's response.
What happened?
So the backlash, I'm sure, was widespread from you know, from everywhere being how could you make Baby Yoda this evil villain to, you know, to what I'm saying in general, which is like, you've set up an episode about conserving this woman's race and then you destroy half of it for a joke. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Why? It's like having a your mom joke at the beginning of The Last fucking Jedi. It doesn't fit in the moment, you know? So why are you destroying the entire... You set this premise up for yourself. Why are you undercutting your own story for the sake of a joke that doesn't even work the second and third time? And the Lucasfilm response, okay? Let me share it.
And guys, we had more planned, but I see everyone saying that Twitch is working and YouTube is just broken. So I think we'll conclude the stream after we're done with this topic.
Yeah, that's what I figured we'd probably be headed towards. But this last little bit, because this to me is the important part. Can I share something really quickly?
Yeah, of course.
And this I think was today they did this. So the art director put out this tweet, Phil Stozak, who I guess is they say he's the Lucasfilm creative art manager. For the record, Chapter 10 of #The Mandalorian makes it clear that the frog lady's eggs are unfertilized like the chicken eggs of many of us enjoy. But obviously, chickens aren't sentient beings, and the child eating the eggs is intentionally disturbing for comedic effect. Okay, first of all, who says chickens aren't sentient beings? I think what you meant to say is unfertilized eggs aren't sentient beings, because that's correct. Chickens are definitely alive. And what do you mean by sentient? Like, do you mean sentient as in aware that they're alive, or do you mean sentient as in has thoughts? Because like the word
has thoughts.
Because the word sentient means has thoughts. A lot of people try to use it to mean like, oh, sentient means you're aware of your own existence, which, first of all, we can't know if chickens are or not without being chickens. Because we can only measure a chicken brain through our own understanding of a brain. So, first of all, even if that's what you're trying, if that's what you're trying to say, you have no evidence to base that on. Second of all, chickens are sentient by the definition of the word, so you're an idiot. Secondly, the thing this does that really pisses me off is on the surface already, you're bringing this fan and Lucasfilm fighting back into Star Wars, which is exactly what tore this all down. So clearly they haven't learned their lesson about attacking the fans. Because this is exactly what first tore down everything over The Last Jedi. If The Last Jedi came out, we hated it. They said, mea culpa. There's no fandom menace. But The Last Jedi came out, we hated us, and we hated it. They told us we were racist for hating it. Now, to me, this tweet here fundamentally misunderstands why people didn't like that moment and why that moment was wrong, and purposefully tries to phrase it in the context of this cultural war. What's the button word here? Unfertilized eggs. So this guy's sitting here acting like the problem that people are having with Baby Yoda eating these eggs is somehow framed within the abortion debate. And the issue is that he's committing murder. And what is a life? Well, the eggs aren't fertilized, so they were never going to be lives unless they were fertilized, so you can't say it's murder, so therefore it's fine. We eat chicken eggs and don't think about them at all. Yeah, but we also don't eat... If we knew there was a bird species and the eggs that it had just laid were the last eggs of its fucking species, we wouldn't cook those into a goddamn omelet.
We don't make bald eagles. Or we don't eat bald eagles.
Yes, great point, Jeff. We don't eat bald eagles. We don't cook bald eagle eggs. You know? We don't... there are eggs...
We also don't eat... human female unfertilized eggs.
Correct. We don't extract eggs from women's wombs for snacks, you know, because it's fucked up.
That messes up with the whole point because it has nothing to do with if the eggs are fertilized or not. We know that these eggs are on their way to be fertilized, to be born.
Chicken, exactly. The thing is, once you get a chicken and once the unfertilized chicken egg is out of the chicken, there is no world in which it becomes fertilized. Like, it's done. It's an unfertilized egg that was laid. It is now just a mix of the shit that would have become a chicken if it had sperm. The end. You know? These are amphibious eggs, which, like certain amphibious and aquatic species, they can lay their eggs or lay them into sacs unfertilized, and then the male fertilizes the eggs directly, which means that an unfertilized egg of an amphibious species like this is just as much of a potential life as a fertilized egg. And when you also know that these eggs are going to become fertilized in the end of the species, and also they're going to turn into a species that's the other thing, is if this frog lady never hooks up the droid and lets us know she's a creature of high intelligence, then maybe we assume, then maybe the joke works, because maybe we look at her like just a frog and we wouldn't think anything bad about eating frogs' eggs, you know? But it's like he's setting himself up and tearing himself down. You set up the fact that she's intelligent, but now that completely destroys the joke of just wantonly killing her eggs. So,
hey, Paul, we already addressed this. It is the last of the species.
Yes, it is the last eggs. No, so Paul L, if you watch the whole episode, it was the last. They tell her it's the last eggs of her family line, but when she comes on, when she hooks up the droid, she makes it clear these are the last eggs of my entire species.
Apparently, she cannot lay more.
So yeah, she can't, for whatever reason. There can't be more. This is it. This is last chance done. Maybe they only lay one set. Whatever it is, this is the only chance she has at propagating her species. So, yeah. Baby Yoda got his force powers from devouring the souls of children, probably. So anyway, this to me, though, is just really fucked up, because not only is it someone powerful, high up in Lucasfilm, representative of Lucasfilm, attacking the fans, for not liking something they did, rather than owning up to the fact that maybe the joke just didn't work. But if they're attacking the fans and telling them why the fans are wrong based on their wrong ideology. And this is when you bring all the politics back in, and it becomes us versus them. And you just hate this because you're all pro-life, women-hating psychos. No, that's not fucking why. Because you don't have to be pro-life to understand why this joke doesn't work. And you know, whereas I'm sure if you are pro-life, this joke extra doesn't work for some of those reasons. But at the same time, you also don't have to be pro-life to know why this joke doesn't. And it's really disingenuous of Lucasfilm to try to squeeze this response into their little narrative of us versus the man babies. And so this response pisses me off to the point where I might be done with The Mandalorian.
Have you done a video on it yet?
Not yet. I literally saw this like just before we went.
You definitely should.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it'll be a good video, especially since it's like a woman. For whatever fucking reason, the second they see it, it's a dude talking about it. We just completely don't take anything that they say seriously. But then it's also the double-edged sword where it's like, it's a woman, she doesn't fit into our little checklist or little narrative, we will suppress her and ignore her and pretend like she doesn't exist because she's breaking this little box, this little bubble that we've created for ourselves. But I think it would be a great video and very informative, especially coming from you, who is very knowledgeable on these matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I will probably do it because honestly, literally, it's like I just saw this right as you and I were talking before we went live and stuff. So I definitely, this like literally my oh shit I might be done with the Mandalorian is a journey I've taken over the past 2 hours since we just before we started the stream. So yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, I actually have met Phil.
Oh.
So I highly doubt. Well, I mean, if somebody says, "Oh, the weird little Hobbit chick," he might remember me. But
fun fact.
One thing I will say about people at Lucasfilm is it is 100% a bubble in an echo chamber, and the complete like disconnect with what he was saying versus what the problem actually is.
Yeah,
it's something where you're in your bubble and you're just talking about the same thing over and over again, and you can see it in like a bunch of different groups. But I think there is a really big misunderstanding and miscommunication on what the problem is. So I don't think it was him being completely disingenuous. I think it's just ill-informed and doesn't have a grasp on the severity of his actions and the repercussions of it, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, what you're saying makes total sense. That basically, because he lives in this Lucasfilm echo chamber where everything is about us versus them, oh, these man babies, oh, these conservative assholes, oh, these people who believe these wrong things, that all of when they see fans didn't like the show, they immediately put it into that, he immediately is going to put it into that framework. And so that actually speaks to a bigger endemic problem, that it's not necessarily this Phil guy himself who's the problem. It's that he is part of he's inside a bubble that doesn't allow enough diversity of thought in to let these people have a real perspective on who their fans are and what they actually want. And that not all the fans saying, I didn't like this Baby Yoda moment, are the same ones who hated The Last Jedi. And that if you want to treat us like we are, you're going to alienate the fans. Because the thing is, there are Last Jedi fans like me and Jeff, or Last Jedi haters like me and Jeff, who came back around to watch The Mandalorian. You're going to push those fans away by doing this shit, by bringing this shit over here. There are plenty of fans who probably didn't like this moment, who liked The Last Jedi just fine and like the rest of The Mandalorian just fine. And now you're going to alienate more of your audience, because now more of your audience gets put into that subset of whiny man babies. The reality is these people need to wake up and realize who is a man baby to them. Literally anyone who doesn't like what they create. And that's not fighting a culture war or making a political statement. That's just being a child.
Well, also, I think it has to do with their, without getting too political, the timing of this episode, along with the American election,
that is fair.
It's very much also blinding. So it's like, here's something that's going on, has absolutely nothing to do with American politics, because this is something that people that are not in America also have issues with. It's like a universal worldwide thing that you can watch this episode and see where the joke fell and the writing failed. But because of the climate of the politics in America and the bubble that is going on at Lucasfilm, it's like, oh, this has to do with A, B, and C has to do with X, Y, and Z. It's like, no. A, B, and C has to do with A, B, and C. X, Y, and Z is over somewhere else. So I think this also sprouted because of that.
Yeah, how about you just listen to us for once instead of deciding what we mean, you know?
Yeah. But I honestly don't think it's not just Phil. I think it's other people that
I didn't think so at all.
On the bandwagon, he's the one that spoke on it.
Oh, sure, because I wouldn't assume that the creative art director would be the guy saying this. I assume this is the guy saying this. My assumption is the reason why this person is the one making the tweet is probably he's in the room, you know, with Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy, whoever.
Told, oh, these are why people are complaining about
exactly.
it. And so
exactly.
What?
His information about why people are complaining is coming directly from people who've already decided that this is the reason.
Exactly.
So it's being presented to him probably like this is the reason. So I'm not necessarily blaming this particular individual. Especially, you know, you seem to know more about him. But certainly it speaks to that endemic problem at Lucasfilm and this desire to still blame the fans and this desire to write off our criticisms, this desire to write off any criticism we have of their show as wrong thing. And for me, that's why I think I might be out on The Mandalorian. Like, why do I need to keep being invested in a show? I'll probably still finish the season and whatnot, but I don't.
I'm just here for the memes. I'm just here for Baby Yoda and the memes.
But let's put it this way. I've been juries out on Mandalorian, like overall this entire time, because I'm like, I liked season 1. I'm nervous about season 2, all these things. You can see all my videos where I talk about this. I was pretty sure season 2 was going to go off the rails. And this, like the show hasn't done the things to shit the bed I thought it was going to do. It still has plenty of time. There's still 6 episodes left, and I still do think it's going to shit the bed the way I thought. In addition to this, it is already shitting the bed in different ways, and Lucasfilm is shitting the bed with their response. So, a lot of shit in the bed. They should call up Amber Turd.
Oh my God. Speaking of that, a good lead-in to the end of the stream. Guys, there's this new app called the Reface, and so I decided to start my own little campaign. So I said, I added Warner Brothers because Johnny Depp got fired from his role in Fantastic Beasts, which is completely moronic and stupid since he's your main the only character anyone fucking cares about.
Exactly.
But I added Warner Brothers and I said, hey, if you're looking for a replacement, just wanted to let you know I have absolutely no problem with putting on a red wig and making out with Jason Momoa. And I also ended it with, I can't act, but neither can Amber Heard. So if you want, I'm just going to show you this little example. If you want, I'm more than willing to put on this wig and make out with Jason Momoa.
It works for me. Yep.
Yeah. I'll eat the fucking flowers. I'll put on the stupid thing. I'll go swim in the ocean. I'm totally down. If you guys want to see this happen, go on to my Twitter and retweet this and at Warner Brothers. Let them know. I'll put the link. Oh shit! God damn it! I'll put the link for this damn tweet in the chat. If anyone is down for that, this is my own little campaign I decided to start today. There you go. Go retweet, spread the word. I am more than willing to put on a red wig and make out with Jason Momoa on camera.
I'm retweeting you right now, and I'm saying, realistically, Warner Brothers, this wouldn't be as bad a decision as letting go of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I am, and I don't even have to get as paid as much as Amber Heard. I think one paycheck that can pay off my student loans, get me out of debt, and I mean, if you want, I'm willing to go in the Snyderverse and stand next to Henry Cavill. If you need me to, I will be there. That one, I'll volunteer my time. I'm totally down. Just,
Mm-hmm. Well, I've retweeted you with my endorsement. So,
well, thank you. Thank you.
And I stand by my comment on it.
Yeah, Anna's willing to make the sacrifice. Damn straight. I will. Today is Veterans Day. By the way, everyone, happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all of our veterans. My grandfather was one. He was in the Navy during Korea. So, and then all of my cousins are actually veterans as well. So, yeah, happy Veterans Day, everyone. And I am willing to make the ultimate sacrifice and take Amber Heard's place in Aquaman 2.
Hooray.
And
I believe in you, and I think that you would be... Look, realistically, Amber Heard did jack shit in that film anyway, acting-wise, so there's nothing she did in the first Aquaman that you wouldn't be perfectly capable of, even with that.
We're going to leave that off. And we're just going to leave this up here so everyone just gets it turned into their mind that I could be making out with Jason Momoa and eating flowers.
Excuse me. I am sneezing. Sneezing is fun.
Bless you. So I think we're actually going to end the stream here, guys, because YouTube is down. We're actually almost at the 2-hour mark. We're caught up on Super Chats. Jessi, is there anything that you want to shill?
I just want to make sure everyone tunes into Jeff's podcast, WCBS, tomorrow night, World Class Bullshitters, and then Thirsty Thursday after, because we are going to be making some big announcements about our Twitch channel, and you're not going to want to miss it if you want to have opportunities to tune into our newfound Twitch streaming starting as soon as Friday. So make sure you're there tomorrow. World Class Bullshitters at 8:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern, Mindless Entertainment immediately following for Thirsty Thursday and for big Twitch announcements.
Jack show tomorrow on Kelsey's channel. Everyone go retweet and like and at Warner Brothers to spread the word that I am more than willing to make out with Jason Momoa on camera in a wed wig.
Do it.
Totally fine with that. And yeah, we're gonna have some big news coming out. Even though the world is going to shit, guys, us artists out there and creators, writers, video creator people, we're just like kind of at that point where it's like, fuck you guys, we're gonna make our own shit.
Yep.
And so I haven't done a video here aside from these type of videos, which I have thoroughly enjoyed because I don't do any work. I just upload a picture of my face to an app and it puts my face on these people with sex in. So that's the most video content I've been creating, but I've been silent on my channel for like a month now. Because I've been working on this super awesome secret project.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be huge. You guys are going to lose your shit. I'm not going to get screwed over by Lucasfilm this time by stealing my design. So fuck them. And yeah, so stay tuned, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you. This will be re-uploaded onto my live channel. Jess, you want to say bye?
Goodbye.
So may the force be with you because we are really, really, really gonna need it. Bye, everyone.
I'll tell you where I thought I came in the forest when the lightsaber goes like this and flies off. I said, "Oh, what a great entrance! Ah!" Ray caught it.